Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to review The Remains of the Day from 1993, directed by James Ivory. And in this film Anthony Hopkins plays a butler who serves on Darlington Hall, and you sort of follow his life during the 30s before the war as a butler, and also in the 50s after the war. And you see him serve two different people, one played by James Fox, who was kind of a gentleman, but had also very much many connections to Germany. He wanted to make peace before the war started, but he eventually had friends, powerful friends that had connections to the Nazis. And then the other one he serves in the 50s. Then it's an American man played by Christopher Reeve, who you also see in the 30s, comes to Darlington Hall, and after the war he takes over that place. And the film cuts between the past and the present, and has a great sort of connection between them in terms of, you see Anthony Hopkins as the butler, where he starts off with reading a letter from Emma Thompson's character, and she was a young woman at that time. She got a job in Darlington Hall, and she immediately gets his attention, because she is very different than the usual ones who serves on Darlington Halls. And even though they have very different personalities, in terms of, she's very direct, and he is very much introvert, and he can't show emotions, and that's really his problem in this film. He is so concerned, or not, maybe not concerned, but he wants to do his job. His life is on Darlington Hall. That is his sort of everything he knows about. And so everything else in terms of his personal life, it's he doesn't have anything or anyone. And but of course, doing the film, you start to understand that he's very much in love with Emma Thompson's character. But something has happened between them, and then in the 50s he is driving to a place where eventually will meet her again. And it's a very interesting film, powerful experience, I would say, and it has so many great acting performances. And this is really the film, I would say, that Anthony Hopkins delivers his greatest of all time in this. I've always been a great fan of Anthony Hopkins, and I think he's probably my favorite actors working today. But this is his strongest performance. He is so good at showing emotion without showing it, because he can't. He's not saying what he thinks, but you can see the conflict in him, the way he uses his facial expression, he moves his eyes. You can almost sometimes feel tears behind his eyes. It is such a powerful performance. And Emma Thompson is also very wonderful in this. And you also have Christopher Reeve, Hugh Grant, James Fox, all very excellent in this. What I also really like about this film is that everyone around Anthony Hopkins talks about the war, in a sense. Even you sort of see the before the war starts and after the war starts, but you never really get into the war. the Second World War, of course. But everyone is kind of discussing it in a way. But Anthony Hopkins doesn't listen, and he, in some ways, doesn't care. He's so focusing on his job that everything else doesn't matter to him. And you really start to see after in the 50s when he is meeting people on his road to meet Emma Thompson, and they ask him about working at Darlington Hall and about the man who was a Nazi, they call him, and he can't really say anything bad about him because he saw James Fox as an honorable and trustworthy man who treated him with respect. And that's what he sees. He doesn't go into anything that deals with the war in any sense. And I find that very fascinating. Everything is about the Second World War, except it isn't. And it's kind of the same about the film is about emotions, and yet he doesn't show emotions. He doesn't say what he feels, and it's a very touching film in that sense, especially near the end. I don't want to spoil too much because I would imagine that many hasn't seen this film, but in the end it's really heartfelt, because you can just see the desperation in his eyes, and sort of see you feel like he isn't regretting what he has done in his life, but in a sense he still has he hasn't have a private life. He hasn't have a woman in his life, and the one he truly loves, he didn't get. And that is something you realize towards the end, and then something happens, of course, that makes it even more heartfelt near the end. But it is really a film that I think is beautiful in every sense. It's such well performed. It's well acted by the actors. It's beautiful shot, directed, and I love the music that goes through the film. And I think it's one of my favorite films for the last 40 years. It's that great, and I will highly recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen it. Yeah, that is my opinion of this film. Thank you so much for watching this video, and let me know in the comments if you have watched The Remains of the Day and what you think of it. I hope you will all have a very nice day. Bye.